Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Front Office Exchange podcast. You're probably wondering, who is the guest? The guest this week is me. I'm taking a short break this week. We've got 2 episodes planned here next week and the week after, both of whom the guests are in the college sports world. We've had a couple of those guests on so far. Michael Beal with UNC Chapel Hill was one of the first guests. And then coming in the next 2 weeks, we've got David Shoemaker, who's the GM of the Arkansas Razorback sports properties there, and Brant, the Associate Athletic Director and head of their alumni group there within the athletic department. So 2 great interviews with 2 former USA Baseball colleagues of mine. David Shoemaker was one of the first people I worked with right out of school. He and I were both marketing coordinators when USA Baseball came to the Triangle. And then later, after I returned to USA Baseball, Brant was one of my colleagues when he was the GM of the 18U national team. So both of them have obviously moved on from USA Baseball. Again, we've talked to a couple people in college sports, IMG College, which is the umbrella that Arkansas Razorback Sports Properties is under. But it's unique talking to someone on the other side of that, someone that's working directly for one of the universities. And then for Brant, someone who he played professional baseball. He was in the minor leagues for about 10 years, had a long and successful career at Notre Dame as well. So to have someone that's come full circle to be a student and an athlete at Notre Dame and to now come back and continue that track that he has hoped for, that progression to be an athletic director, was great to hear from him on that. This week, I just got back from New York and the SBJ Sports Marketing Symposium up there at the Crown Plaza in New York City. It was great to see industry veterans, media people, such as myself. I went as on a media credential as a podcast host, so which is great, running this concurrently with my executive search practice that I'm building and having conversations along those lines. Ran into J.W. Cannon, who's been a past guest, and saw some other familiar faces as well. Also had meetings on Monday and Tuesday in the city. Great to reconnect with my friends at Major League Baseball, the NBA, Wasserman, Ketchum, SNY, and other groups. So to have everybody there, being in Charlotte, there's a lot of sports business opportunity, but nothing really tops New York, not only in sports, but in all industries as well. So that's the short and sweet episode for today. I highly recommend in the future, if you're looking at the SBJ Sports Marketing Symposium, it's a big ticket item. But it's worth it. It's worth every penny to get in there, to sit in the panel. Some of the great panels when I was there, they were running eyes wide open, what's keeping you up at night, with several executives. And then one topic that's obviously immensely popular, not only in sports but in all industries, the next generation. What and how are young millennials watching? That was the panel that was going on when I was talking to some people out in the lobby. And then I was able to pop in and hear most of that. And then in addition, there's another sports marketing group that was running an event right after that, the National Sports Marketing Network at NSMN. They have an event in this city tomorrow that is focused on that as well, and they're running that event in other cities too. So obviously a hot button item, and one, again, I highly recommend the event. They do it well, very professionally done, great networking. If you're in sports business, if you're in sports marketing, it's a who's who. So again, highly recommend. Thanks to them for having me. Wish I could have stayed longer, but I plan to be back next year. So please tune in the next couple weeks. We got some exciting episodes. We've got others in the pipeline that we're working on. Thanks again to everyone who has supported the podcast thus far. Please continue to listen, download, share, tell your friends about it, and please sincerely reach out to me if you've got suggestions for guests, people that you'd like to hear. You can reach me an email at jake@frontofficeexchange.com. I'm at Jake Failing on Twitter, and then Front Office EXCH also on Twitter as well. Thank you again, and hopefully we'll have you back for a future episode of the Front Office Exchange.